During the live taping of Live with Kelly and Mark, which took place on Tuesday, February 18, Kelly Ripa and her husband, Mark Consuelos, were treated to a scene that was both amusing and surprising. When a member of the audience's cell phone went off in the middle of the broadcast, the couple who co-host the famous daytime talk show had to deal with a number of technical challenges. However, the most unexpected challenge was when the cell phone of the audience member went off. The malfunction of Mark's earpiece. Mark experienced some peculiar feedback in his ear as a result of a malfunction in his earpiece, which was the beginning of the problem. Mark, who was 53 years old at the time, inquired of the production crew, "What is that noise?" as the feedback noise continued. "Is that my microphone?" It was determined that the problem was caused by his earpiece and not anything else. In other words, he was listening to audio in his ear. During the time that Mark was attempting to work out the technical issue, Kelly, who is 54 years old, kept the discussion going by talking about recent events and then presented a humorous story about how she skipped school when she was younger. During the course of this chat, Mark admitted that he had a habit of fabricating absence notes from his parents. This confession was intended to be lighthearted, but it was quickly eclipsed by a sudden and unexpected interruption. During the time that Mark was telling his story, the audience suddenly began to ring their cell phones with a loud and intense sound. Kelly and Mark were both absolutely taken aback by the abruptness of the ringer, which caused them to appear stunned. Kelly chuckled and made a joke, saying, "This show has hit the skid row." After then, she turned her attention to the camera and stated, "Tell your mother that we will call her next. I just saw you on television." That was the direction that the conversation was going to take. "Who knows?" Mark said, still in the process of recovering from the surprise. "Despite the fact that I was telling a story, I don't care." During a commercial break, Kelly approached the member of the crowd whose phone had caused the interruption, which only served to make the scenario even more hilarious. When Kelly inquired about the person who had called, the woman said in a nonchalant manner, "A con artist. Give them your credit card and social security numbers." Kelly, who was always quick with a joke, mocked her by asking, "Give them your credentials?" A hilarious ringtone for the phone on their Instagram account. The team from Live with Kelly and Mark shared the surprise encounter with their followers. A situation in which the audience couldn't help but chuckle at the unplanned incident. It was stated by a fan that "that's funny." A laughing emoji was displayed next to the statement. "I thought it was Mark's mom calling in." There have been previous instances in which a phone rang while the show was in progress. During the broadcast that took place in June of 2023, Kelly amusingly called out a member of the crowd for their phone ringing while the show was being broadcast. Kelly revealed that she had experienced her own phone going off when she was in church, with the ringtone "Gimme More" by Britney Spears playing. As the ringing persisted throughout the service, she hilariously stated how she was forced to sit through it, embarrassed by the fact that it lasted. Live with Kelly and Mark continues to be a fan favorite, despite the technical difficulties that have occurred. It is the genuine and approachable aspect of the hosts that is revealed through the humorous and unplanned situations such as these. This ensures that their audience remains interested and continues to return for more. Those who watch the show enjoy the natural connection that exists between Kelly and Mark, which gives the impression that it is a warm and enjoyable conversation between friends. The Wednesday morning taping of Live with Kelly and Mark began like any other, music pumping, audience clapping, and Kelly Ripa strutting to the desk in a bold, sunflower yellow dress that screamed "good vibes only." Mark Consuelos, ever the charming co-host, was in high spirits. He just wrapped filming a guest spot on a popular streaming series and was ready for some lighthearted morning TV. The show's producer had promised a smooth lineup, celebrity interviews, a quirky cooking demo, and a special surprise involving the audience. What Mark didn't know, and what would soon leave him doubled over in both shock and laughter, was that this surprise was about to go wildly off script. The trouble began in segment 2. Kelly, with a twinkle in her eye, teased the audience. Mark has no idea what's coming up, she said, and I've been dying to see his face when it happens. Mark smirked at her, suspicious but not alarmed. Is this going to be one of those times you make me wear something ridiculous on TV? He asked. Nope, Kelly replied innocently, but I'd keep your reflexes sharp. A moment later, the stage crew wheeled out a large, brightly decorated box with a question mark painted on the front. The audience gasped. Kelly explained that the mystery moment was in honor of the show's anniversary. Inside the box was, well, something festive. The plan, according to Kelly, was simple. Mark would open the box, the surprise would be revealed, and everyone would laugh and applaud. Easy, right? Not exactly. Mark walked over, microphone still clipped to his shirt, and dramatically lifted the lid. What happened next would be replayed across social media within hours. From the box sprang a giant inflatable flamingo. At least, that's what was supposed to happen. Instead, the flamingo's air compressor malfunctioned. In place of a majestic pink bird soaring upward, the deflating creature flopped sideways with a sad wheeze, and in doing so, knocked over a tray of pies waiting for the cooking demo. One pie slid straight into Mark's chest. For a split second, the studio went silent. Mark froze, staring down at the blueberry filling dripping from his shirt. The flamingo continued to hiss and collapse, slowly smothering Kelly's side of the desk like a polyester tidal wave. And then, chaos. The audience roared with laughter. Kelly was bent over, clutching her stomach, tears streaming down her cheeks. Oh my, Mark, your face, she gasped between fits of giggles. Mark, still in disbelief, glanced at the camera. I'm not sure if I just lost a fight with a flamingo or dessert, he deadpanned. The flamingo kept sagging, its long neck wrapping around Kelly like an affectionate snake. The set crew scrambled to pull it away, but not before it knocked over Mark's coffee mug, sending a caffeinated waterfall toward the floor. Is this a prank show now? Mark asked, dabbing at the pie filling with a napkin that was far too small for the mess. Kelly, regaining some composure, explained that the box was supposed to release the inflatable along with a cloud of confetti for dramatic effect. But the compressor's failure had triggered the flamingo's death spiral and the pie disaster in one fell swoop. Instead of being annoyed, Mark surprised everyone, including himself, by leaning fully into the absurdity. You know what? Bring the pies. All of them. Let's go all in, he declared. Within minutes, the audience was chanting, pie, pie, pie. The cooking demo chef, bewildered but game, handed Mark another dessert. Kelly dared him to smash it into her face, but he shook his head with mock seriousness. No, no. This is a gentleman's duel, he said, holding the pie like a weapon of honor. Of course, television decorum didn't last long. A playful chase ensued, with Mark circling the desk and Kelly ducking behind the audience seating. The camera operators struggled to keep up as pie met face, not once, but 3 times, amid shrieks of laughter from the audience. By the time the segment ended, both hosts were covered in cream, berry filling, and flecks of deflated flamingo. The stage looked like a dessert-themed battlefield. During the commercial break, Mark leaned toward Kelly, still laughing. You planned this, didn't you? She held up her hands innocently. I swear on my best heels, I only planned the flamingo. Then she grinned wickedly. But I'm not mad about the pies. Back on air, Mark took a moment to address viewers at home. To anyone who tuned in expecting a normal show, sorry folks. We now live with Kelly, Mark, and the Flamingo of Dune. The internet wasted no time. By noon, clips of the mishap had racked up millions of views under hashtags like #FlamingoFail and #Pgate2025. Fans made memes of Mark's shocked expression, pairing it with captions like, "When you just wanted coffee but life gave you blueberry pie." Others edited the footage to make it look as though the flamingo had been plotting revenge. The next day, during the opening segment, Kelly brought out the now famous inflatable, patched, reinflated, and wearing a bow tie. The audience erupted into applause. Meet Frankie the Flamingo, Kelly announced. He's officially part of the Live family now. Mark shook his head, laughing. I feel like I should get hazard pay. Kelly grinned. Consider it a bonus for excellent comedic timing. For days afterward, fans kept sending pies, flamingo-themed gifts, and even coffee mugs with Mark's pie-covered face printed on them. What could have been an embarrassing technical failure had instead become one of the show's most talked about moments in years, proving once again that on Live with Kelly and Mark, even disasters could be turned into gold.